Welcome back to Happy Place Diaries. I'm Teresa.
And I'm Jerry, and in this video, we're talking about staying warm. The whole nation just experienced a massive winter storm, and a lot of people got caught off guard. And this might be a little bit too late, but at least we're going to give you some ideas of what to do for the next storm, because winter's not over, folks. So stick around. You're going to want to see these. So you got to make sure that before the storm hits, you go ahead and get your propane tanks topped off. In this last big winter event that hit the entire country, a lot of places were running out of propane. And if you wait till the storm is on you, well, chances are you might not get a refill. So top off your tanks early and often. And while we're talking propane, it's also not a bad idea that if it gets really, really cold, go ahead and wrap your propane tank up with Reflectix or even a blanket. Just throw a blanket in this compartment here, because that's all open right there. And while you want it to breathe, wrapping your tank with something that's going to insulate it is going to make it a little bit more efficient. So water is a major factor in staying warm and livable during the wintertime. Use little insulation, like we wrap all of our hoses in this. Now this never comes off, so that's permanent there. And then we connect down here, and then it's insulated all the way to the source. And when it dropped really low, like below freezing, what I did was I just flipped it over. I filled up our fresh tank, all 70 gallons, and then I disconnected my hose down here and just ran off the pump. Now the pump's inside where it's going to stay warm as long as you run your furnace on propane. So a real simple thing that you could do to keep the inside of your rig warmer is close the blinds. And if you have these blackout shades, close the blackout shades. They will definitely increase the temperature inside, because those single pane windows, they're not the greatest in insulating. They look nice and they function well, but when the temperatures are below freezing, you definitely want to cover those up. And we'll show you what we did in the bedroom where it got really cold because of the windows.
One other thing that we do is we have a very heavy blanket on our bed. It's thick and it's not wool, but it's a good one. You might want to have a wool blanket or maybe an electric blanket to keep you warm. And then also we have our reflectives in our window that keeps all the cold out. And we felt a huge difference once Jerry put those in. So those work very well.
Yeah, so we have the Reflectix on that back window and then the two side windows. It immediately cut down any draft we had. And I will tell you, this blanket, it's the ugliest blanket in the world, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, it keeps us warm.
We love this blanket. So back here in the bathroom, we've got our Max Air fan. Now we did put a Max Air fan cover on the outside so that we could run the fan when it's raining, because this has the automatic moisture shutoff. But we keep that closed in the wintertime because hot air rises and we don't want it all going out that vent. We do open it when we take showers and whatnot, but that keeps the area back here nice and warm. We've been running this little Honeywell space heater. I think it's called a Tornado or Volcano or something like that, but it is a heater and it's a cooling fan, and it's adjustable. It goes up and down. We really like that little fan. It heats the bottom area where our kitchen and dinette is. Even though there's vents down there, cold air settles in low spaces. So we've been running that down, and then at night we turn it so that it's facing up into the bedroom. And when you have a 41-foot rig, no matter how powerful your furnace is, the farthest vent away from your heat pump is going to be the one that doesn't get a whole lot of heat, and that's back here. And so running this little space heater facing up into the bedroom, it's actually been too hot most nights. It's also suggested that we keep our door to the bathroom closed, and that will keep the bedroom nice and warm. But what we noticed was, remember when I was talking about, you know, the vent farthest away from the heater doesn't get really good warmth. So we go ahead and keep this open, and that way the bathroom stays nice and warm. Because there's your vent the farthest away from the heater being all the way up front there. So while it does get hot, it doesn't get really hot. So keeping the door open definitely helps us out in the winter. So if your RV is equipped with the heat pump in your AC unit, that is a fantastic way of keeping the entire coach nice and warm. Now, it won't work below like 40 degrees outside because it's converting the air. So anything below 35 to 40 degrees, running that heat pump isn't going to help you. But if you're a Floridian and 40 degrees is really cold, go ahead and run that heat pump, and it's going to warm up the coach really good.
So another way that we keep warm is through our fireplace. It's obviously electric, but you can have it go from like 62 degrees to 80 degrees. So if it's really cold out, we just turn up the fireplace and kind of sit in the living room and watch TV.
And of course, the main source of heat for the RV is the propane furnace. And we run that because our underbelly is insulated. They say that this rig is rated to 0 degrees. I really don't want to test that. But we know that in this last storm, we got into the very low teens and we stayed nice and warm. Running the propane furnace is going to keep your pipes and everything underneath nice and warm as long as you have a sealed underbelly. And we had no problems. We had no pipes freeze. We set our propane furnace to about 66 degrees and just left it there. Now in our rig, we have 3 levels. We have the front, we have the back bedroom area, which are both elevated. And then our kitchen and dining room are down in there. So having the space heater to heat that lower area and these 2 upper areas, they just get really, really warm when you're running a combination of propane, running the space heaters. Before it got below 40, we were running the heat pump out of the AC and had no problems at all. Okay, so that's all pretty much what we do to go ahead and stay warm. The last thing that we'll mention though is dress for success. You know, we wear socks around because we don't have carpeting on these floors. And so wearing socks, maybe throw a rug down. We throw a rug down in front of the door all the time anyway. So we wear house shoes and socks. And when it gets really cold, a sweatshirt or something.
And blankets. We have lots of blankets.
And, you're going to survive. The biggest things is just be prepared. Know that it's going to get cold. And if all else fails, you're in an RV, hook up, and head south. All right, we hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.